That gets you thinking, how would you go 20, right?
Brooks and Brown.
Okay, I got 11:30, so.
People used to come up on the train to go all behind your house and fish.
If you see anything.
I'm serious. It was a big deal.
Give me a
That's
call.
been a wild tree for a long time.
While he wasn't doing anything other than work.
Especially passing.
One thing,
But that's when you carried a fishing pole
remember one of the
and
ones-
22 when you traveled by train, so you could eat.
Are you ready?
Mhm.
Good morning. I ask you to stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome. I'd like to call to order the regular board meeting for the Oceana County Board of Commissioners for June 13th, 2024. And I ask the clerk to do a roll call, please.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. Morse?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here. I ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the regular May 23rd, 2024 meeting.
I'll make that motion, Hardy.
Do we have a support?
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Beggs. Are there any questions or concerns or comments on the minutes as presented? Aye. Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Conflict of interest disclosure regarding agenda items. Do any board members want to declare a conflict of interest? Are there any changes to the agenda? I ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
So moved, Mr. Erickson. Do we have a support?
second that.
Support by Mr. Morris. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Are there any public comments at this time? Hearing none, I have a couple of presentations for service awards. This is the fun part of being a board member. Good morning, Rebecca. Rebecca, thank you for your service to Oceana County. 20 years.
Yes,
Did it seem like you just started yesterday?
just like yesterday. I had no kids.
There you go. This is a 20-year service award to Rebecca Cole, commemorating her many years of public service to Oceana County, presented by the Oceana County Board of Commissioners on June 13th, 2024.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
I appreciate it.
Good morning, Jeremy. Now we have somebody that can beat up. It wasn't but yesterday that I had the pleasure of meeting Jeremy when he was working for Dave Kozar on a construction job. After I got to know Jeremy, I realized that we had something similar in common. I'm sorry that you had that, but anyway, with me. But the similarity was that I had worked so many years in law enforcement, and Jeremy wanted a career in law enforcement. 20 years later, he has worked for the Oceana County Sheriff's Department, and knowing Jeremy before he was in law enforcement, and after his 20 years in law enforcement, the people of Oceana County are very fortunate that you decided to stay home and work in Oceana County. And thank you for that, Jeremy. And this is a 20-year service award for Jeremy Swihart, commemorating his many years of public service to the people of Oceana County. Jeremy,
Thank you.
thank you. When he got his 30-year award, you're halfway through your tenure on the show. Thank you, Jeremy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Oh, you're not gonna stick around? Oh, I got it.
Commissioner Erickson, the preventative maintenance agreement.
Chairman Walker, I make motion 2024-59 to enter into a 3-year preventative maintenance contract with Anderson Mechanical to maintain the air conditioning and heating and ventilation, refrigeration for all county buildings in the amount of, and that amount was,
$64.92 per year, I believe. Did I get that? Hold on a second. Yes, $6,492 per year.
per year,
For 3
for a
years.
3-year term.
19,476 total. You said Anderson, right?
Yes.
19,476 total.
19,476 total.
I asked the clerk, do you have all the numbers?
I got them recorded, so.
Okay.
Look at it.
Very good. Moved by Mr. Erickson, do we have a support to award the preventative maintenance contract?
I'll support Hardy.
Support by Mr. Hardy. Any discussion at all? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Beggs, dog at large.
I believe we're taking no action on that one at this time.
Correct. Correct. Mr. Hardy, Sheriff's Department request for a night shift sergeant.
Motion 2024-65 to allow the promotion of a deputy to a sergeant position with funds not to exceed $3,460.15. Support.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, supported by Mr. Erickson. Any discussion? I would just like to mention that at our regular meeting, that there was support from the board on this, and we're gonna review it again, whether it becomes a permanent position after the sergeant who was assigned to the Marine Division finishes the Marine from the summertime. Sheriff, understanding that you have also?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Erickson, Drain Commissioner Resolution.
I've got to pull that up, it wasn't in this packet.
And it's done. We have a motion on the next page, Mr. Erickson. Top of the next page.
Top of the next. Very good, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I make motion 2024-66 to adopt resolution 24-12 to allow the Drain Commissioner to collect a cash deposit with any application that is submitted for the layout for designation of a district drain.
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Erickson, support by Mr. Beggs. Any discussion?
Just appreciate the explanation from Ms. Martin.
Pardon me, Mr. Moore?
I just wanna, I appreciate Ms. Martin's explanation. I didn't know what was happening with that thing until she.
I didn't either. I'm glad you brought it to
Well,
us. Thank you.
it's like a performance bond, it does,
Yeah.
it does at least outline who's paying the cost.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Mr. Beggs, budget adjustment.
I believe Mr. Morse, we got the
Oh,
material management.
oh, sorry. Mr. Morris, materials management contract with West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission.
Chairman Walker, I make a motion 2024-67 to enter into a multi-county materials management plan agreement with the West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission and allow the chair to sign.
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Morris, support by Mr. Beggs. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Now, Mr. Beggs, the budget adjustment.
I'd like to make motion 2024-68 to adopt budget adjustment 05-2024 to correct overages within the county general fund totaling
$390,488.
Thank you, Mr. Beggs. Do we have a support?
I'll support Hardy.
Moved by Mr. Beggs, supported by Mr. Hardy. Any questions or comments? All the documentation was presented in the previous, that's available to the public if there are any questions on it. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Morse?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Erickson, we will not be taking any action pending legal opinion
Yes.
on the next item. Mr. Hardy, payment of claims.
Yes, a motion for board approval of accounts payable and release of funds. Ambulance fund total $1,772.99. FOC fund total $2,194.06. Pentwater Harbor Trail fund $5,009.08. Automated ROD fund total $5,049.56. Indigent Defense Fund $21,542.89. Canine Unit Fund $195.42. Department of Veterans Affairs $4,671.37. Technology and Innovation Fund $4,651.52. Building Department Fund $28,923.70. General Fund total of $428,117.08, for a grand total of $502,127.67.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Erickson. Any discussion? I would just like to ask that we regularly are improving things for the Pentwater Harbor Trail Fund. Is there somebody we could get a report from at one of our meetings on what's actually going on with that? I don't think we've had a report for several years on what the status is.
Good idea. Yeah.
If administrator would be so kind to contact us to see if somebody could give us a short presentation on what's going on. So, any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Morse?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Reports from the commissioners. Mr. Beggs.
Well, the VA, Veterans Affairs Board, they have a number of things in process, a bunch of planning starting already for Veterans Day parades and 5K, which is already in November, but those are some new events that they're working on that are picking up steam pretty quickly. A number of collaborations with some other veterans help entities in the county and beyond, so that's exciting to watch them kind of work through that and just grow their program really to just reach out to the vets and the public at large. The road commission, everybody's aware there's road projects going on everywhere. Did hear a report, Marshville Dam road, the bridge is in, scheduled to be paved. I think they said this week, tomorrow, maybe. And road is roughly scheduled to be open for 4th of July weekend. Whatever weekend that really ends up being this weekend or this year, I don't know. But anyway, around about 4th of July. So obviously still there's ongoing work with the creek bed and in the various supporting structures and properties there, but the road itself should be in good shape. I think their goal is to have it open for cherry season to not hinder farmers too much, and that should be pretty close to on schedule. So it's exciting to see all the road work. The road commission had their annual open house this last week. It sounded like it was last week. Well attended and had great weather for it, and that went well as well. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Beggs. Mr. Hardy?
Oh, just maybe one little thing. I don't know if you've seen all the activity of tunnel boring and stuff going around in Hart. Hart contracted, I believe, Frontier, that is running fiber optics throughout the entire city of Hart, including the industrial park.
and they've been very active. If you've seen the signs in the road, blocking it down. So that'll be a nice improvement. Want to expand a little bit on what the sheriff said. There's a water safety day over in Pentwater. I believe it starts from 11 to 2. If you have grandchildren or kids that need life preservers or PFDs, they will be handing 200-300.
Couple
You do have to be there with the child to get fitted for it, but it's a great event. So if you can attend, super. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Mr. Morris?
Yeah, I have two things. First of all, so back in December, we as a board approved a $30,000 match for up to a $100,000 grant to the state of Michigan for OnDARD. We were denied, but Oceana County received $200,000 of funds, not the county, but county entities. So that includes the Township Park in Shelby, and then also the housing development. So it was nice to see of that money. A lot of it went to Oceana County, so that was great. My second thing is back to the Marshville Dam. I was out there the other day, and Gary happened to be there, and he's probably out there today, or else he'd probably be here. But that bridge, that wooden bridge, that we had some concern in my jurisdiction about that being strong enough to carry big loads of trucks, of Peterson trucks or whatever trucks with really heavy, lots of stuff in it. And to demonstrate how much weight that bridge will be able to take, they actually parked this 100-ton crane right in the middle of that bridge, and Gary took a picture of it, and it didn't budge. So it's that bridge is going to be plenty strong for plenty of years for all the traffic, the heavy equipment traffic that's going to be going down Marshville Dam Road. But it's pretty exciting how fast they put that thing together. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Mr. Erickson?
Mr. Walker, Monday morning, I met with Lee Heislip, the Crystaltown Board Supervisor, along with Jim Tiffany, the engineer that's been working on the Crystal Valley Dam. We did bore 5 more holes within the apron structure. We went through about 14 inches worth of very hard concrete and to probe. And what we did, we probed down about 12 feet, trying to find voids or any apparent loss of soil or material under the dam, of which we did. And Mr. Tiffany is now working with 2 contractors to find a solution to stabilize the underside of the dam. Otherwise, everything looks very good at that park. The other thing that has happened, we've got a camp host for Black Lake County Park. That would be my wife. She's excited about working out there this summer at Black Lake and trying to revive that camping at that park. Another thing that's going on is Saturday afternoon in Mears, we'll be dedicating the new Red Transportation Barn downtown with the Oceana County Historical and Genealogical Society. Blackmer had finished that barn up. The William Lathers Trust played a very important role in the construction of that barn downtown. So we'll be dedicating that on Saturday. This afternoon we will have the MTA, Connie Cargill will have the officers of the MTA in town. 3 o'clock they're going to tour the dunes, they're going to go downtown Silver Lake. The officers are going to take a good look, and then we will also show them Swift Lathers' house this afternoon. So that'll be on their agenda. And that would be all I have.
Thank you. I have a couple things. For those of you who don't know, we lost a neighboring county commissioner last week. Gary Castoni passed away. He was a long-term City of Ludington employee, then a City of Ludington council person, and a county commissioner for about 12 years. And Gary passed away this past week. Secondly, we know that the employees have elected, instead of having the picnic, to have the 5th of July off. I think we should ask the administrator to put a notice in both the Herald Journal and the Echo that the county building will be closed on the 5th of July. And then that, whatever the administrator thinks that would be an appropriate time, let's get that posted on the front door of the building, you know, for a period of time before the 5th of July, so people know, and also our webpage, if you think it's appropriate to put it on there, so the public knows. Was it kind of a overwhelming vote?
It was unanimous. And I do want you to know that, I did have some people contact me and say, please give our thanks to the Board of Commissioners for, their thoughts and for doing this for us, because it is appreciated.
It's a one-time deal, but thank you for that. The scale, I am working on a design build document to put out Wadle Stabilization, and the people in Oceana County and people in the area. It'll probably hit the contractor's website in Grand Rapids too once it goes out. But with that design built, I would like to ask that when we put it out, that if we select a contractor to install a scale, that we purchase the scale. Because if we have a contractor purchase the scale and put it in for us, we have to pay tax on it. But if we purchase the scale, you know, and if the scale's $75,000, it's gonna be $5,000 in taxes that we shouldn't pay. So does anybody have any objection to doing it that way, that, you know, when we select a scale, that we will purchase it? And I will let the members of the building committee see the draft of the request for proposals, and it's gonna be a rough draft, and the administrator will have to put it in all of the legal terms and everything that we need. But we are moving forward with it, and at the same time that we put it out, we will send, if not before, maybe a couple days before, we'll email a copy of it to Ferry Township, because they own the property. So we are moving forward with that. And like I said, it's gonna be expensive, but when we look at how much we pay for overreach every year out there, in less than a year and a half, that scale will pay for itself.
Yeah.
And there will be people that won't like it, because they're gonna have to pay what they bring in there. You know, it's the only thing we can do. It probably should have been done 10 years ago, but we'll just get into that. And lastly, I went through the intersection of Oceana Drive and M20 twice yesterday, and my thanks to the two members of the Oceana County Sheriff's Department that were down there and working with traffic, because it was a mess trying to get that intersection paved. And I understand there were even a couple accidents down there, with at least one with injury, Sheriff.
Yes.
And they stayed there, and I think it made a big difference for it. But I certainly hope that they have all of that paving done before Monday. It will be a interesting time for us when the people start showing up for the electric forest if M20 is not open. It'll only put about 35,000 people trying to get off that won't be able to get off that road. So, but it looks nice what they've done so far. Amy, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
Yes, Phil.
Can I make a correction? It's, Shelby got $100,000 in admission, freeze back got $100,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
I read that.
Yeah. Thank you, Phil. Amy, anything for us?
No, not today.
I'd like to reiterate something we spoke of prior to the meeting this morning about parking around the courthouse. I have received 2 calls from business owners that have a concern with courthouse employees parking in the 2-hour parking on Lincoln Street. We need to take a better look at that. We should also look at how we're parking on Washington. State Street is a little bit different level there, but 40 years ago, when Hart was perhaps a little bit more active and we had parking concerns, we had the lot behind the courthouse paved so that there was additional parking downtown Hart for employees of businesses and for the courthouse. And the rule then was you do not park in front of your store. You know, if you're a shopkeeper and you want to make a sale, the last thing you want to do is have a customer come up without a place to park in front of your store, especially if one of your employees is parking in that spot. It was a problem 40 years ago. It's become a problem again. And I would ask that perhaps Tracy send out a letter to all department heads reminding our courthouse employees that we do have parking behind the post office. That was why that was created back then. And then we will have better neighbors with our businesses on both Lincoln and Washington whose customers are having trouble parking in front of their stores for the 20 minutes they might need to go in and make an appointment or check a policy or something of that nature. It's an ongoing issue, and it's not new. It's been here forever, but it'll only be a matter of time before the city of Hart enforces the 2-hour parking with chalk, and we don't want to see that happen either.
Thank you, Paul. Tracy, do you have anything else for us? Public comments.
It's me. Hi, I'm back here again.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
We're doing a little bit better when you're here for us.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, I do have good news, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get things on your agenda, but I just wanted to give you, first of all, an update. As you know, I previously told the board that I was going to apply for a sobriety court. We ended up, unfortunately, at a 2-day jury trial, and by the time the state court administrators returned my call, it was Friday afternoon. I was still doing the jury trial, and the deadline ended that Friday, which was May 31st. However, there was an opening. They reopened the application for a 20-hour time period, Thursday ending midnight on Friday. So, Ms. Facundo, I can't tell you how hard she worked on that. Also had Ms. LaPointe helping her, in addition to answer questions about dealing with Oceana. But she worked tirelessly on it. When I wasn't in court sitting on the bench, I was able to make some phone calls and get a CMH. Bottom line, at the end of the day, at, I believe right around 5 o'clock on Friday before the deadline, we filed for our grant. So the grant is in. What we're hoping is if the grant is granted, we will have, and what we did was I expanded it. It's not just an OWI court. That's what I told the board before. It was going to be only OWI related court. It's a hybrid court that will address not only OWI cases, people with alcohol offenses, but also people that have alcohol addictions that are causing other crimes and drugs. So it's an expanded court. It should be up and running by September 2025. We're hoping that the grant funding will pay for all the positions, et cetera, et cetera. With the exception of, and this is something, I know that normally you like proposals put on ahead of time and a firm written proposal. Now, I did meet with Phil and I did meet with Paul, and we discussed these two things. I just wanted to bring these to the attention of other board members, and then maybe we'll have a firm proposal for you in July or August. I would like to do it sooner in July, but I just realized the next time you guys meet, I'm gonna be not here. So you guys can look forward to not having me come in and bust up one of your meetings in July. But I'll be out, I got a family reunion I have to attend. But the two things that I really want to bring to the board's attention. Number one, with this adding of the hybrid drug treatment court, Ms. Facundo's duties will even be expanded even more because she'll be also the program director, and there'll be a lot of organization that'll have to be done going forward. So I would like to expand her hours from 35 hours to 40 hours a week. I think it's essential not only that she get reimbursed for her time, but also she's going to have even more duties than she already does. And so that'll be part of one of my proposals. The other proposal is right now I use my staff to do court reporting duties, which means that my staff is, for example, not doing their normal clerk duties. They're coming into court or they're going into the magistrate's court and recording. My staff in Mason County actually has a dedicated court reporter, and I would like to add a full-time position for a dedicated court reporter here in Oceana. And it'll, obviously adding the sobriety court will even make that more necessary. I would like to get a full-time position for that. We right now 8 hours on Tuesday and Thursdays. I need a person to record for me while I'm in court, and then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, probably at least a half day. So we have a need for at least 30 hours right now, but I would propose to make it a full-time position because that way we have the sobriety court that will be needed to record for. That'll expand those hours by at least 2, maybe 3 hours. And also it will give us the ability that if one staff is out, either sick or on vacation, we have some additional staff to do coverage. As it is right now, the problem that we have in district court is if the civil clerk is recording for me, she's not doing her civil clerk duties. If the traffic collection clerk is doing that, he's not doing his duties. If the criminal clerk's in court doing the criminal recording, she's not doing her duties. And the need is there because in Mason County, there's only, I think it's less than 40 case difference between Mason County and Oceana. Oceana's caseload has greatly increased. And so I think there's a need. That's what I have in Mason County. So I will get a proposal together. Now, I talked to Phil and Paul, as I said before, and correct me if I'm wrong, Phil was on board with it, but wanted it to go in the 2025 budget. I see a real need right now for that additional person to get them up and running so that we're going as quick as possible. But I don't have any figures for you. I don't have anything. I don't have a literal proposal for you guys to look at, so I know I'm being premature, but I just wanted to get it all in your minds, thinking about it now, so that hopefully I really wanted to have it for July, but I'm not going to be here in July to do any talking, so it might have to be August. But anyway, I just wanted to let you all know that, and the good news about the sobriety court. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be great here for Oceana. I know I've talked several times to Sheriff Mast about it. I think he's all behind it, and I talked to Joe Bison, and I believe he's all behind it. I think Julie Springstead has indicated that she will be the defense attorney liaison for it. So I think we're going to have a wonderful thing here for Oceana, and I think we're going to be able to help some people that really need some help. Anyway, that's your update and what I'm going to be coming to you hopefully in a very short time with a proposal, and I hope you guys can support it. But anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Are there any other public comments? For my fellow board members, a reminder that we are going to close out the meeting, but we're gonna have an informal walkthrough of 3 of our facilities. You know, I think probably starting at 12:30 on Griswold Street, you know, and shouldn't take too long, but some of you have never been inside some of the buildings we're going to, so. Nothing else to come before the board? We stand adjourned. And thank you, fellow commissioners and the public. Thank you.
12:30 at Griswold.
Sounds good. You plan it. You don't.
Oh, yeah, we have to do that.
Oh, yeah, you know, it would be nice.